Dave, how's it going there today?
It's good. How are you?
Great. I can only imagine it's nonstop between a new record, the book, and all that. So I really appreciate you taking the time.
Oh yeah, it's pretty crazy hectic, but it's fun. Besides, all of the terrible things that are going on in life for most people with the pandemic and everything else that's going along with this right now, um, we've got a lot of things to be really grateful for. But I'll tell you what, if that wasn't happening right now, I would say that life is over the moon right now.
Right. Well, I appreciate that you have such a positive disposition. And I can't imagine it's like the most fun thing in the world to be looking back on an album like this, as great as Rust in Pieces. Like, you seem very much along the lines of a person who looks forward instead of backwards naturally.
Yeah, I think so. There, I mean, I could be really glib about this and say all kinds of funny shit right now, but I mean, given the circumstances, I'll try and be as to the point as possible. And yeah, it was definitely a lot of stuff to be grateful for. A lot of stuff that we changed that made our lives better. A lot of stuff we lived through that almost killed us, and a lot of people that we were hanging out with that we thought was supposed to be part of our lives. And thank God we lived through getting away from them.
Right. I really do appreciate the format of this book. It's such an easy read because you get everybody's perspective. One thing I couldn't figure out, though, was how it was written, the sense that did you give your commentary first and then everybody weighed in, or did you weigh in last on everything?
We kind of went along as the book took shape. I talked with Joel regularly, and he spoke with a lot of the other contributors to the book, and we just started to piece everything together, and it was much like the Tower of Babel. It just just continued to grow, and it's one of the things I thought was really funny is how the content changed. Not only in what it was, but how it was presented. Like, you're listening to one guy, and then a couple paragraphs later, same dude, totally contradicting himself. So that was really fun and very rewarding for me because it shows you that some people forget that it's not the end of the world as they do. And the other thing is that, I'm not as bad as they make me out to be. And you can see that, where they say stuff, and then later on in the book they'll say something totally different, which I appreciate them telling the truth finally. I think it's great because I wanted everybody to know, how truly talented those guys were. Because Chris Poland, as much as I don't really like the guy, he was a great guitar player, and I wanted to give him a shot when we did the 2004 reissues for Peace Cells and for Rust in Peace, and I wanted to put that song out on the Rust in Peace issue, and he was he got involved in a nuisance lawsuit, I think it was, and we just ended our friendship, and I thought, God, that was such a waste because there was a little teeny mountain that was right out by where we live, and I said, what, I could have just as soon bought that piece of dirt there than sell Chris's friendship, and I'm so bummed that this happened, so I thought it would have been terrific to have him on the record, let people see, hey, this sounds like Marty Friedman. No, Marty Friedman sounded like this, because Chris played it first.
He sounds, to use a kind of a Kiss analogy, like the Vinnie Vincent of Megadeth, where you guys admire his talent and realize his influence, but, it doesn't work out on a personal level.
Oh, I don't know about that, because I don't know anything about Vinnie or those guys.
Got it. Failed topic right there.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I really admire about Megadeth, and you in general, is you guys embraced the internet before just about any other hard rock band. Didn't you have a website as early as 1995?
Nope. It was was 94. It's October 31st, 1994.
Wow. So does that
Yeah.
mean that you had people working for you that were super pro internet, or were you into the internet that early?
Uh, Both, and more so the former than the latter.
Does that mean that these days you're still super into the internet and are aware of memes, or did you get sick of it?
I got kind of sick of it. I've backed out of the whole thing. It's kind of like, you know, I don't know, backing out of a car crash. In the beginning it's really fun. It's great to talk to everybody, but then you realize a couple months after that you've got everything that's private and personal in the world up on a cloud somewhere. And I prefer having a little bit of privacy in my life right now. I don't want everybody to know what I ate and what's going through my intestines tonight. I think that's personal and private.
Of course. Well, back to the book and that era. The movie, The Decline of Western Civilization, which gets referenced pretty early into the book, I love that movie. And you guys kind of come across as the voice of reason in the whole movie. Do you look back at it fondly in any way? Because I know it was not a great time in your life when it was made.
Yeah. Was that a question or a statement?
Oh, I'm asking if you look back on it fondly.
Did I look back on it finally? Nah. I liked making it because I think that Penelope's always been really terrific to me, and I thought that the song was pretty cool because we just made that on the spot. They asked, could we do this song for the movie, and we just basically said, yeah, sure, Tom, we'll do it. Tom Wally was the guy from Interscope that wanted us to do it, and so he comes into the studio after I got done writing it, and he said, it needs to be more evil, and I said, really? I said, what do you mean more evil? And he goes, just more evil, and I said, okay, so I changed the lyrics, and I said, my only friend is a goat with 666 between his horns, and I figured, man, if that ain't fucking heavy, I don't know what is. And then, because the movie was supposed to be called Bill and Ted Go to Hell, right? And it wasn't called Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. It was called They Go to Hell. So I thought, great, I'll call the song Go to Hell. That's pretty heavy. And the next thing I know, they changed the movie title to Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, and I thought, oh, this is just crap. So I was stuck with the song, a different title, and that was a pretty fucked up time. Yeah.
Got it. Sorry to trudge that all up.
Oh, it's okay.
And you, of course, have a lot of ventures outside of Megadeth and outside of this book. There's the cruise, there's your wine, there's your beer. Was it this plan all along to be that diversified?
No, I don't think so. I think what happened is we just got more and more successful and blessed with the things that we did. Somebody would say, hey, I've got something for you. I made this thing for you. I did that. And, my family is made up of entrepreneurs, and their mind's always spinning. So if something comes along like that, they'll ask the person, hey, what do you think about this? And, for example, one of my big endorsements, my wife negotiated that. One of our beverage deals, our kids did that. So, they're all really settled into the music business and into working with the people that we work with. So I love that too, because there's a lot of books that they have their families in them, and they talk about how they're successful because their family's involved in their business.
And you've had Elektra perform with you live and in the studio and all that. Do you foresee her being a full-time musician in the future?
Well, that's something you got to talk to her about, because she's, I don't know, I think she's planning on getting married soon, so I'm not sure what she's planning on doing.
And then back to the cruise that I mentioned that you had. Were you ever on a cruise before planning this?
No. on a cruise planning to play? No.
So when it comes to vacations, are you the kind of person that takes them very quietly, or you just stay home because you're used to traveling?
I like to be home and quiet. Be nice to have some quiet, cold drinks and some salt water to go stick your feet in the water.
Because where I was going with that is when I listen to old interviews with you, the sense of humor that you have is very apparent. You're a funny guy that not everybody realizes is a funny guy. The interview you did with Jay Moore kind of hinted to all that. But I was curious what you do to mellow out when you're not making music or doing your business ventures.
What I do to mellow out? I drink Primo beer, brother.
Sure.
Just kidding. I'm kidding. I do all kinds of things. We have really great pets that I enjoy spending time with. My wife and children are great to hang around with because my kids are grown-ups now. Getting ready to release this new record's been quite an experience. I've been watching Justice and Elektra grow, and their little opinions and stuff matters. So when they say something, I want to make sure to pay attention to them. But then I also got to remember, they're little people, and sometimes, they say something, and it's not going to be what I want to hear. So I got to also remember to be kind when I listen to what they say, and if it makes me mad, not to chop their heads off.
Well, 3 quick questions, if you don't mind, and then I'll let you go.
Sure.
Okay, the first one is, people who really follow the history of Megadeth know that you and Dave Ellefson, or Jr. rather, met because of him playing Running with the Devil. Was Van Halen a big influence on you otherwise, or is that the only thing of theirs that had a role in your life?
Van Halen was not an influence in my life. I loved the whole concept of the band. I thought it was really cool. I thought that he was a great player, and that's about it. I thought that David Lee Roth had a lot of difficulty singing, but he was an amazing frontman, and I think that kind of came from him copying Jim Dandy from Black Oak, Arkansas. And I can't say that's for sure, but whenever I see any pictures of Jim Dandy or anything like that, a friend of mine was a huge Black Oak, Arkansas fan, and whenever he would come over and play Black Oak, Arkansas, I would look at the picture on the album, and I would think, fuck, that looks like the dude from Van Halen. And go figure, there he is.
That's an interesting point that I've heard people make before. The second question is, you've been home a lot more the past, year or so, getting better with your health, and of course COVID, the pandemic and all that. I assume you had to have watched more TV than usual. Do you have a film or a TV show that you could recommend to people seeing, hearing, or reading this?
I don't know. There's a lot of shows that are good, but I'm not really sure. I mean, I've got my favorite movies and shit like that, but I don't know that anything's going to top my favorite movies. Like, I love Tombstone and Peaky Blinders. I thought was great, and some of these other shows, but it doesn't necessarily mean people are going to love them just because I like them.
Okay, and the closer, Dave, any last words for the kids?
Sure. Where are you located out of?
Long Island, New York.
Long Island.
Exactly.
You're not close to Montauk?
We're not close to Montauk, but Joan Jett lives on my street, if that helps.
Oh, well, tell her I said hello and I love her.
Will do.
Paltrocast.